So writers ask me all the time, Abby, how do I make my writing sound more vivid and colorful? And how do I make my prose like just top-notch, beautiful quality? The number one thing that I find goes into beautiful sounding prose is rhythm. Like if your writing doesn't have a good rhythm to it, a good diversity of sentence length and pacing in the writing itself, it's gonna sound kind of cut and dry and just boring and redundant. How do you even see that? How do you spot where your rhythm might be bad? Really great question, and I literally didn't have an answer to this question until I started using ProWriting Aid. So for this particular problem, we're going to go up to length to look at our sentence variety. And when you go over here to the sidebar panel, you can see basically the data of your entire document laid out by sentence length. And you can see that there's like a lot of variety here. Some of this is dialogue, some of it's descriptions, but we have a good rhythm going here. We have long sentences, short sentences. That's what you want. But then when we get down to the bottom of our document here, there's a lot of short sentences all of a sudden. And that's like what I would consider a problem area unless you have really snappy dialogue happening. If this is prose, then you're going to want to take a look at these super short sentences and see what is going on here. So in this particular instance, you can see that this paragraph needs help. Yumi set to tidying the mess. She gathered up the fallen papers and blueprints. Then she piled them on the desk. She crouched to pick up the scattered tools. Mika circled the apartment in a daze, closing cupboards and upturned drawers. Yumi finished cleaning the mess. Then she strode over to the wall of windows. She looked out at the glimmering city. It's boring. It needs a better flow. It needs a better rhythm. So instead of Yumi set to tidying the mess, comma, gathering up the fallen papers and blueprints, piling them on the desk. How about as she crouched to pick up the scattered tools, comma, instead of Yumi finished cleaning the mess, let's have it be when Yumi finished, comma, she strode over to the wall of windows. So let's look at our final version here. Yumi set to tidying the mess, gathering up the fallen papers and blueprints, then piling them on the desk. As she crouched to pick up the scattered tools, Mika circled the apartment in a daze, closing cupboards and writing upturned drawers. When Yumi finished, she strode over to the wall of windows and looked out at the glimmering city. And when we refresh our sentence length check report and scroll down to the end of our document, we can see that we have a much better ebb and flow here, contrasting the short and snappy dialogue. Of course, this is entirely dependent on your writing style, so you can do this as much or as little as you want to. This is the kind of data and insight that ProWriting Aid gives you that I have not seen any other editing tool that does this. So I personally love that tool, and I hope it will help you guys out as well. You can try ProWriting Aid for free with the link in my bio. And if you end up buying it, make sure you use the code ABBY20 at the checkout to get 20% off your yearly plan.